So I had received a comment on my other Tarina Tarantino tutorial, that's a mouthful, using the Dreamy palette from Eyeshadow. Eyeshadow? I'm not really sure how you pronounce your name. And she requested to do a tutorial with the Magical palette. So I love the Magical palette. It's probably one of my favorites, and I thought I would do that. So on my face already, I have the LORAC protecTINT Tinted Moisturizer in Dare to Bare. I also already have Too Faced Shadow Insurance and Lemon Drop on my eyelids for a primer. So the palette I'm using today is the Tarina Tarantino Magical palette. It is so pretty. I have a post on my blog with swatches and more pictures, so I will link to that below in the description box. Just gonna zoom in a bit on my eyeballs. So first thing I'm gonna use is this kind of opalescent-ish pink shade. It has, it's a very light pink, but then it has like super duper strong pink shimmer. And I'm going to use that all over the lid. And the brush I'm using here is something I got in a Nordstrom, was it Nordstrom? Yeah, I think so. The Laura Mercier anniversary sale kind of thing had a palette out, or rather a kit, and this brush came with the kit. Through the crease, I'm going to use the kind of deep purple shade. Now if you have an eye shape like mine, when you open your eyes, kind of like you have so much lid space and then it just all kind of gets crunched up into your crease. So what I try to do is put it in my real socket, but also open my eyes and see how much is left showing. So a lot of times, you know, most of it kind of disappears. So I try to blend it up so that it will be visible above the crease. Kind of on my outer corner into the middle of my lid, I'm going to use a shade that's more of kind of like a silvery purple taupe. I'm just going to use the same brush. Using that kind of, that middle center opaly pink, it kind of, the shimmer of that pink kind of peeks through even underneath the darker crease color. So it's a lot of fun. It's a super cool color. And I'm just gonna go in again with that shade and kind of brighten up again the lid part, which may have gotten kind of overlapped with the other colors. And for the brow bone, I'm going to go in with the more white shade. And this is that angled shadow brush from the teddy bear set that I was talking about. Concealer, I'm using my Laura Mercier Secret Concealer that's in the Undercover Pot UC1. And that is just the creamy kind of peachy shade. So sometimes doing the concealer after you do your kind of inner corner highlight or the lower lash line can be really nice if you're trying to clean up any extra shadow that was there. So sometimes I do my concealer after after I've done the kind of lower lash line shadow. Just so I can do a little cleanup. I am going to do my foundation before, actually, see, this side is over further than this side. Gonna try to fix that real quick. I don't know about you, but I find getting both eyes to be even one of the trickier things about eye makeup. For my foundation, I am using a LORAC powder, although it is not the wet dry powder that I featured in my favorites for September. I had bought this one on Haute Look quite a while ago. It was the LORAC Evening Out kit. And oh, this package, look how goobery it gets. Ugh, fingerprints. So this is the powder, and I've been wearing this the past 3 or 4 days, and the color is light. Yes, it's a very kind of silky powder. It's a little bit silkier than the wet dry powder, I would say. It goes on really pretty. I would say the finish actually reminds me of the Cargo Blu-ray powder. Brows again, so boring. Urban Decay Matte Discontinued Shadow and Shakedown, the kind of old style. And Sigma E65, which is kind of the combination I featured in my favorites. Brow gel, I'm using my e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel, which is now tinted from me using it. Inner corner, I'm going to use, I think I said I was going to use the white, right? Yep. And lower lash line, I am using the kind of warmer, more pink. I don't know what color that is. And for my kind of upper waterline, tight line area, I'm going to use a L'Oreal Infallible Espresso Lacquer liner gel. It's a dark brown. And I'm actually going to use the brush that comes with these liners. So something I finally figured out as far as getting my brush on this kind of upper waterline area is that if the brush is near my pupil, then I'm going to kind of like spaz out when I try to put something there. So if I try to make sure that my pupil is not where my brush is, then I can put it on without like flinching and whatnot, making a mess. So just a little tip if you're having some problems with spazzy eyelids. And for my cheeks, I am using Tarina Tarantino Feather Blush, which is kind of like a shimmery, peachy coral pink. Under my eyes, I'm going to set my concealer with Benefit Powder Flash. What I like is, since I have to use a very creamy concealer because I do have a lot of dryness, this really helps kind of dry out the concealer without drying out my under eyes and helps it set a little bit more. And for a highlight, I am using the Physicians Formula Happy Boosters powder in translucent. I love all the little hearts. Oh, so precious. And this is that kind of floppy teddy bear Too Faced brush I was talking about. If I hadn't mentioned, these brushes are incredibly soft. It is just such a pleasure to use. It feels so nice. And I'm using the Jordana Best Lash Extreme mascara, of course. This was also in my favorites. And on my lips, I'm going to use this Maybelline Nearly There. I believe this is the color Sensational line, perhaps. So that is my finished look using my Tarina Tarantino Magical Jewel palette as requested. And yeah, I love this palette. It's so fun. It has, the texture is awesome and the colors are really very easy to work with and wearable, and you know, it's just, it's a fun eye palette, so I would recommend it if you're thinking about picking it up. Let me know if you've tried out this palette and how you like to use it, what your favorite color is perhaps in the palette, and if you've tried any of the other products I used and what you've thought of them. And if you have any recommendations in the Tarina Tarantino line, things that you think I should pick up. I do have the Dreamy palette, that feather blush, and also a liner from them. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.